we want to introduce you to a new missional partner, Project Rescue. They are a multinational network of partners that are committed to rescue and restore victims of human trafficking worldwide through the love and the power of God. And they have been pursuing this mission for 24 years. They have some skin in the game. Project Rescue now ministers in 29 cities across 10 countries and is continuing to grow. It ministers to more than 60,000 women each year. And this past fall, I had the privilege of meeting the founders and leaders of this organization. And I just couldn't wait to tell you how blown away I was at their heart, at their passion, and how God is moving through them powerfully. You see, 2020 was a breakthrough year for Project Rescue. COVID did and is still presenting challenges. We know this. But COVID also brought unprecedented opportunities in different parts of the world. You see, for the first time in our lifetime, human trafficking in Southern Asia was virtually shut down. No one visited the red light districts during the pandemic. The streets were empty. Customers were non-existent. Demand was at an all-time low, and traffickers were losing money by the day. As a result, traffickers gave women permission to leave. These women don't choose to do what they do. The traffickers gave them permission to leave and to take their children with them. You see, Project Rescue, the leaders of it had often prayed that God would stop this evil of human trafficking. They just never saw it happening because of a virus. And what they told me was what the enemy intended for evil, God was using as an opportunity for good. Although the women and children were free to go, they didn't have any resources. They didn't have a way to provide for their family. You see, most of these women had been sold into slavery themselves between the ages of 10 and 12 years of age, which means they were robbed of childhood education and the opportunities to learn life skills. But because of years of trustworthy relationship building with the ministry leaders of Project Rescue, during this time, the women reached out to these leaders and said this: we don't ever want to go back, but we have to feed our children somehow. Please help us. So realizing that if they provided another way for these women to live, that it would free them to never have to return to the brothels again. So Project Rescue began an initiative titled Forever Free. This initiative, women learned a trade, a skill to acquire gainful employment, as well as receiving health care, counseling, food and clothing, the basic necessities. And in this past year, hundreds of women were trained in new jobs, having never again to return to the red light district. In this process, many of these women were introduced to a life-transforming relationship with Jesus. Many women, the skill they learned was how to sew. And they began to sew masks. And they had the entire world market open to them to sell masks, which gave them quick, gainful employment. Now, as 2021 comes to a close and 2022 is on the horizon, Project Rescue has their sight on their most ambitious project they have ever undertaken, Project Hatali. Across Asia, there are many cities that populate over millions of people. One city in particular that Project Rescue has a significant presence in is known for being the second largest IT hub in Southern Asia. It's a beautiful city. It boasts educational and developmental opportunities for the region. But it also has a dark side too. With over 700 brothels within this city and over 5,000 trafficked women and children, including a lot of police corruption. As a result of drastically less demand and the shutdown of the red light districts because of the pandemic, an owner of a brothel in the heart of the red light district in this specific city in Asia approached ministry leaders of Project Rescue and asked them if they would be interested in renting his property. He no longer had gainful employment there. So after much prayer and consideration at this odd request, Project Rescue came back and asked this man, instead of renting this building, could we purchase this building? And in an unprecedented way, the owner agreed. You see, this building had been used as a brothel for generations. But because of incredibly generous donors, Project Rescue was able to buy the building and move forward to begin dreaming about redemption and repurposing this building as an outreach center. As a brothel, this building was a place of darkness and evil, both physically and spiritually. The building was filled with small rooms that served as a home for women and children, a place where they were forced to serve customers. The basement was like a dark dungeon. The roof was a place where women were held as prisoners before being sold. But now, it will be turned into a beautiful place of light and hope right in the middle of the darkness. And this is where we come in. I want to share with you some of the plans that Project Rescue has for this specific building. You see, the small rooms that housed women and children, those walls are being removed. Everything associated with the past must go. The building is being thoroughly cleaned, both physically and spiritually. Everything is being painted. As for the renovation, classrooms are being created and will be created where children who don't otherwise have access to schooling can be taught. A job training center for women will be opened on this property. A kitchen will be put in where meals can be cooked for the women, as well as an outreach to feed the community. A bakery will be established as an opportunity for the women to learn skills and learn how to run their own business. A night care shelter for teenage girls will be on the 3rd floor to keep teenage girls who are going to school safe in the evenings and the nights from being trafficked. A medical room will be built where women with HIV and AIDS from years of trauma and abuse can be cared for. And there will be many meeting rooms built to hold Bible studies and group counseling. As of this month, December 2021, Project Rescue needs $746,000 more to be able to finish all of these renovations and open, ready to fully minister and be a place of Jesus' light and expand the ministry that is already being established. And so Northridge Church family, we get the opportunity, along with many other churches around the United States who are coming together this Christmas, believing that these doors will be opened in early 2022 so that these ministries can take place. You see, Project Hatali means Project Butterfly. This building is becoming a place for both short-term and long-term transformation, new beginnings, and hope for women. When I heard these stories and dreams in September of this year, I was in awe. I couldn't wait to tell you about it. Because with our story in Little Marshfield of the Southside property and the future dreams we have to see redemption on that land, as well as the construction and the remodeling that happened in this building where we're sitting this evening, this year, Pastor Preston and I sense that this is an opportune time for us to partner with what God is doing across the world, to use buildings as a tool to bring about his redemption purposes.